Hi, Helena.
Hello,
How are you?
Helena.
Just a little note before we get started is that our dear soul sister Vicky is traveling the next couple of weeks, living her life to the fullest, and so it's just Helena and I tonight. We are happy for someone to come on and join us and chat with us live as well. If you would like to, please write in the comments. I would like to join live with you, and we'll let you on. We'll send you a link, and then you click on the link, and then you can join us.
I think Vicky is coming on live from. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Vicky's not here, but I think she's going to try and join us. So, okay, well, let's get started. I think Nin
Yeah,
might want to say something before we start.
yeah. I guess that was a little bit of a surprise for me, was it, Helena? Thank you for that. For Vicky, I hope she can join us tonight. That would be awesome. And yeah, so we're going to get started. So, hi, Heart Talk to You, family. We had an awesome start to the Three Souls Awakening series. And with over 400 people viewing our awakening stories the last several weeks, a big thank you for tuning in. And I hope that what we're talking about is resonating with you and, bringing this awakening experience to light and helping you with your life as well. That is our intention. And today is episode 4, where Helena will share her second awakening moment. Thanks, Helena, again for opening your heart and digging deeper and sharing your personal story with us. Thank you very much, and over to you.
Okay, Heart Talk to You, family. You know, we had a great session last week with Nin sharing her awakening moment about unconditional love. And I just think, I actually reflected on that after that evening on, sort of being able to receive and give unconditional love is actually not something that is very easy to do. So, but it was actually it was something that I'm sure, a lot of people who was listening last week would be trying to maybe, get to that sort of level of love. Because it is not hard. As much as we love our family and there are different types of love, I think the ultimate goal is to provide that unconditional love. Yet, however, not easy. So I hope, but that was really, sort of what we heard last week was just fantastic. So thank you for sharing, Nin, your first awakening. So tonight, obviously what I'm going to do is, okay, hi Vicky, thank you for
Hey,
joining us. How's your
no
holiday?
problem. It's going well. It's going amazing.
Okay, where are you?
Perfect timing.
I'm on the bus right now, so we're going from Gonja to Cappadocia. So, yeah,
Which
it's
country are you
beautiful.
in?
Turkey.
Turkey. Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Wonderful. All right. So let me just share my screen and start my story. Into shock. And that was when, I started questioning about the meaning of life and, why we're here, what is our purpose. And obviously from that point was when I decided to make more conscious decisions based on love and not based on sort of what people expected of me. So after that awakening moment, obviously I continued working as a pharmacist. And, a few years later, I went on to marry my husband in 2000. And again, it was all based on sort of love rather than, when they say it's the heart or the head, this, for me, it was the heart. So, and then after our, sort of marriage, as a newly married couple, we like just every other couple, we would be discussing about children and our future. And then obviously that, a year later in 2001 was when my second awakening moment happened. So what was this moment? It happened in 2000 and 2001. See, I'm already sort of getting lost because I'm going into that sort of shock again. Was the passing of my 12-year-old nephew in New Zealand. Now, that sent me into shock again. Why? Because, when we think about death, we understand that, we are birthed, we're born, and then eventually we will die, right? But we see, most of us see ourselves living for quite a number of years, and, death would happen at a later stage, obviously when you're older. When, an older member of your family passes away, it's quite, you can accept that, even though, yes, it is sad and it is a part of life, but you can accept that knowing that they have lived a life, and therefore it's okay that, sort of they pass away at an older age. But when it happens to a young child, it makes you, obviously it sends you into shock, not just, for the parents, but for every family member who's involved, who is part of the family. And I spent, I did spend a good few years close to him, being, sort of very close to him. And so that obviously was very traumatic for me. And obviously, the question, that then basically it was a wake-up call for me, right? Because I would then start questioning, what was important to me in being a parent. Because now I've got to think about, okay, looking at coming from an Asian perspective, we've been raised to work hard, okay, so that we can have all the means for our family, for our children. And the mentality is we work hard, so that we can provide for the children, so that we can have the house, the car, the money, so that when we get older, when we retire, we will have time, money to spend with our children. But if I was to now reflect, if I was to reflect on that, is that how it should be? Because if we were to work and then find that, okay, now I'm at an age where I want to spend time with my kids, but looking at my nephew, it's like, why should I wait that long because that child may not even live, right? May not even live to the age that we want them to live to. So that's one case. I mean, just looking at my, this case here, it's like, as a parent, we work so hard to make all the money, to buy the house and even more houses so that we can keep it for them, or so that we can leave a legacy for them. At the, what should I say, at the expense of not having time with them, right? Because he is 12 years old and he's passed away. And here we are working so hard, trying to provide all this money and all these things for them, but they didn't even make it to the point where we want them to to get to. So is it right to, to follow that path, thinking that, okay, this is what I'm going to do until I have time, until I have the money, in order so that I can spend time with them later on. But, in one case, they're moving on. As we get older, they get older, and they're moving on with their life. They're not going to even be around to even spend time with us. Then you've got this scenario where, the child, for whatever reason, passes away, at such an early age, that you have, what have we made out of this time that we have with them? You see? So it raised a lot of questions for me and my husband. So, it was questions like, okay, if I had known this was to happen, then what would I do differently as a parent? Okay, what are children seeking from us? Is it love, time, connection, belonging, attention, approval? Are we parenting in the present moment? Are we really enjoying the time that they're here with us? Are we making the most of this opportunity to love our children? You see, unfortunately, we don't know what we don't know, right? We can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So why are we living life, in 10 years' time? We can't predict life, obviously. So the thing that we do know is that we only have the present moment, right? To live and love our children. We only have one chance at it. And it can be taken away from us in an instant. You see, we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone what's going to happen in another 10 years or another 15 years. So I guess the question is, how should we be living life? Not only that, how should we be spending time and treasuring our children right now? And it's, if you actually question the kids, for them, it's all about being able to have that time with the parents, knowing that they belong, with the parents, knowing that they are loved, knowing that, they have the attention from us. So are we doing that? Are we giving that to them? So, and so in all of this, I mean, obviously it was preparing me to become, sort of parents and to become the future parents. And I know it seems hard to, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you listening to this are parents, and you're working very hard. Of course, we all have to work very hard because we need to have the money in order to live a life. But I think we should, really think about the present moment, because, as I mentioned before, how, are we enjoying that time with them? Because, they are also, they are a part of us. And are we loving them? Are we, giving them that time? So it's just something that, we need to think about. And of course, it definitely changed the way that I parent my two girls, because after that happened, I had my first daughter in 2004. So, it allowed me to think about how I was going to parent my girls. And definitely it was a wake-up call for me and my husband. So obviously it's now time to ask questions. It is a short talk, but, it's, for me, it's all about, family. and it's all about knowing that, I am there for my kids. Sometimes we want to think, okay, you know, I guess some of you might have questions, and I'll take questions because then I can answer according, to how it was, or how it was, yes, the last many years, ever since I've had kids. So that's all I'm going to share right now. I'm actually open for questions. Let me just stop
Awesome.
sharing.
Can you hear me, Helena?
Yes, I can. Yes,
Yes.
I can.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Really, a question for you. It's relating to how you parent your daughters. So, parents are always with their kids, especially when they're little. They're underage, under 18. They're always at home with you. You know, always with you because they're dependent on you. But what is it that you do with your children that's different, that you see that you do different that other parents don't do then?
I mean, there's no one, there's no one to blame in terms of, sort of wanting to provide, and we all want to provide a good life for our children because everything we do is for our children, right? But I think what sometimes we forget is the fact that the children are there. They, they also want your love. They want your time. They want to be with you. And because a lot of us forget that, oh, they're there, we should be, connecting with them. We should be building that relationship with them. And a lot of us forget that. So when I had sort of a family, when I basically sort of told myself and my husband, it's like, we're going to try and, for our kids, it's all about being able to be there for them whenever we can. So when they grew up, when they went to school, I mean, I spent a lot of time with them. I only worked part-time for a long time. And when they had sports at school, I would be there. Every opportunity I had, I would be there. Even with excursions, I would, volunteer to be a parent helper, to go on all these excursions just so that I could be a part of, sort of their life. Then, even swimming, obviously if we have to take them swimming, we have to take them to the sports, but it was just basically getting involved in everything that they do, and it was just being a part of their life, because I know that these kids, they have that excitement when they know that their parents are there, and I think it's just that love that they seek, and the obviously attention, they're always seeking attention, but it's all about, that belonging, and to be seen, right? So kids, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to feel secure and safe, they want to feel significant. So how are we as parents giving them that? Because what I do find, and this is probably going a little bit off tangent now, is just that when kids don't seek that from the family, they will find something else. They will find another avenue to get all of those things. And so what I'm going to add now is actually going to, this is going to be important, because this is why these kids are now going to screens, video games, social network, these social networks. That's where they're going to get their, to be seen, to be heard, to get that significance, to feel that security and all of those things, right? So, and this is actually really important. This, I'm hoping that this will, sort of will create a little bit of awareness too, because when kids don't get it from the family, they will go elsewhere to find it. And that will also take, that's going to create another conversation, even with, drugs, addiction, and all of those things. But we're not going to go there because that's another story. But yeah, so obviously for me, it was all about connecting with my child, my children, so that they know that they are loved, and they know that, they know that someone is there. Yeah.
Thank you, Helena. Thank
So,
you. Can you girls hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Thank you. First, I would like to thank you for sharing, such a personal story with all of us. And also, when I was listening to your story, I was reflecting myself. Um, do I tell the people I love that I love them? Sometimes we forget because we see them every day, and how we spend time with them. So it also makes me reflect about all these things that we don't think every day. So I force myself to think, if this is the last time I see this person, what would I do different? And I think for me is I will spend more time with them. I will at least give them a call and ask how they are. Have I told them I love them?
Yeah.
So I think it will help us to also reflect on our own lives, or
Yes.
what do we do, or who we do different. And also you mentioned something that's really, really important, that is to be present. Yeah, because that moment, when that moment is gone, is gone.
Correct.
So if you're not present for your kids at that time, like you say, they grow up, and then the time is gone, and then they don't want to spend time with you. They want to spend time with their friends or doing other things. So that moment's gone. So I think that is so important. What you mentioned is to be present, and not just present and thinking about being there, but thinking about something else. It's just being there and acknowledge them and listen to them. Because sometimes, like you say, if they don't find the love from the parents, they will try to find it somewhere else. And sometimes that other place is not the best place. Yeah?
Definitely.
Because they can, unless they're there with the right people, with a good influence. Then I think for a child it's super important to receive the love and the time of their parents, because they feel full. They will not look somewhere else to trying to fill that void. So thank you girls for giving me the opportunity to join you. I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to make it, but I thought, I'll just join you for a little bit. I'm traveling, so I wasn't sure about times and where I was gonna be. So I'm traveling around Turkey, but I didn't want to miss you girls, because I think this is quite important, and now I put also my heart into this. So I wanted to be present at least for a few minutes, and as long as I can, and then I'll let you girls continue. So thank you, Helena, again, and Nin, for letting me in the studio and share with you a few things.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to see you girls.
Thank you. Have a good trip, okay? But thank you so much for joining us. It's just great for you to even be here.
Oh, thank you, Vicky, for your love and being here.
Yeah.
So
stay on for as long as we
Helena,
can. Yeah.
Yes. So Helena, I guess from the perspective, obviously you have parented your children differently after you've had that awakening with your nephew passing so young. So do you, on the other side, what kind of response or what kind of benefits or feedback do you get from your children when you're parenting them in this way?
From my children, okay, so we do a lot of traveling too. Like every opportunity we get, we would travel together, and they've been around, they've been around nearly everywhere with us. And because we know that, sort of as they get older, they will have their own friends, they will have their own life, they will be traveling, on their own, or with friends, and they're not going to want to, sort of be with us. But you know what I do find is that our kids, well, my kids anyway, still want to travel with me, and they're 16 and 18 right now. And I'm sure, Janine, you're having the same thing, right? I'm sure you've, from what I've heard, you've also gone to many places with your children, with your boys, and to this day they still want to come join us, because why wouldn't they? It's like, they know that when we go anywhere we have fun, right? Not just as a family, but we go out with friends, we go out with, we go out to different places, and we
I also want
enjoy.
to add in there.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
I do want to add in there. Yes, that the when we are traveling and when we are doing these activities together, that we do ask the kids for their input into what they want to do and what they want to experience. And when I first started traveling, we my boys were 13 and 11, or 14 and 11. And we asked them, like, where do you want to go, go visit first? And they said, Japan, Mum, And then I'm like, yep, that's where we're going, because I think for me it was about making memories with them, because I did have the understanding that I only have a short time with them, and then when they become independent, that I have to allow them to be independent. And obviously they're going to socialize more with their friends and have partners and stuff like that. So I knew that my time was limited. So we involve the kids with all the decisions, and we don't just do everything that they want, but it's like a 50-60-40 50-50 60-40 kind of split. We always include them in our decision making.
And we should, because even sometimes in our day-to-day day-to-day living, they should be aware of what we're doing, right? They should understand what we're doing. They should be a part of it, right? Because they are a part of our family. So why should they not know what we're doing? Because they should contribute, right? They are a contribution to the family, so they should be included, and they should be given choices as well, and decision making. Everything, we need to involve them. And it's when you involve them, that is when they feel that they are, they feel significant, and they're a part of the family, and they are what's the word, belong. They belong in the family, so they will want to stay in the family, right? So it's all about providing all those things. And when they get all those things, they don't need to find it somewhere else. Obviously, as they become adults, of course they will need to sort of go on their own journey, but at least they know that there is a family here, and you can do, if they also will learn to live their own life as well, based on all of these things. Yeah, everyone. Stop the live.